Hello, my name is Lisa Shea, and this video is part of a series that explores YouTube analytics and likes and other kinds of statistics by looking through my 14 different sites that I run. This one here is my Lisa Shea Origami site that I started up 14 years ago, so my oldest videos in here are about 14 years old. I've got about 100 videos in here, and some of them have like 7,000 views or 13,000 views, and then some of them have more views, 90,000 views, 288,000 views, and 1.1 million views. So this site has gotten some fairly heavy traffic, and all of the content in here, or nearly all of the content in here, is how-to types of videos. Videos that someone seeks out because they want to learn a specific skill, in this case origami, and they want to see how it's done. So by having my different videos that explore different types of videos that I've put up, then you can get a sense of the types of videos that you work with and whether a certain technique will work well for you or whether you should try a different way of doing things. So most of these are how-to, but I do have like a video just on a mobile spinning around for stress relief and meditation. I have some videos, it's a how-to in that it's how to grind an inkstone, but really it's 10 minutes of inkstone grinding, which is more of a relaxation video than a how-to. I've got some videos that show off different kinds of paper, so again, those aren't really how-to, but more relaxing kinds of things. And then I have some book reviews and some music reviews that talk about different kinds of Japanese music, different Japanese poetry, and then I put on some cat videos just because my cats are so cute. So I do have a range of different things in here that we can take a look at and see how traffic and fall off tends to happen with different styles of videos. All right, so let's get started. Let's just go to the home page, quickly show the types of things that I've got. So I'll just mention briefly, and I should put this in a different video. It's important to set up your home page so that it draws people in so that they can easily find the types of videos you've got by using playlists. You should have a little introductory video that says what kinds of things that you're interested in. And all of that will help your view count, your subscribe count, and everything else. But we're just going to talk about the actual analytics here, which shows you the results of the things that you've been doing. So to get to your analytics, you click on your icon in the top right, and then you go into your YouTube Studio. And in your YouTube Studio, it starts out on your dashboard to show you the number of subscribers, the views, and the watch time, and all that other kind of stuff. I haven't updated this channel here in a while. I used to update it fairly heavily, and then I've gone on to other things. So the watch time is getting pretty low right now, but at some point I will go back and work on that. Just lots of things to do in my life. All right, so you've got a content link on the left, and this shows you all of your different videos and a brief summary of the views and comments and that sort of stuff. So here, if we kick this out to 50 and scroll down a little, and then go back to the second page of it. The older ones are the ones where we get into the million or the 90,000 or the 288,000 or so on. So part of what helped with those is that I was putting them out regularly. You could say I put them out March, April, May, June. And when you're putting things out regularly, then you build a fan base that comes back and keeps watching for the latest ones and seeing what you're up to. And then when you get busy and go on to other things, which is what the case is right now, then they tend to fall off because they've already read all your videos. And you'll still get people who just happen across your videos and find them and start watching them. But once you start building your fan base, it's good to keep them entertained and keep working on them. So let's take a look at one of the older videos, and we'll show how the drop-off happens with an old video. Oh, where'd the million one go? There we go. All right, so to see analytics on a particular video, once you've found it in your content list, there's a little icon right next to it. Usually you just point to it, and you have your normal edit button where you can do your editing, and then the analytics. So we'll click on the analytics button to see the analytics for this one. And then we will update it to show its lifetime. All right, so you can see that it goes through periods where it gets spikes, probably where I did a Twitter promo or an Instagram promo or something like that. So doing external promotion is definitely key to keeping your video getting found. And then things have quieted down recently because, like I said, I haven't been doing a lot of promotions. And also these videos, the older videos from a while back, the quality is no longer as good. At the time it was very good quality, but cameras have moved on. So now people are finding newer videos that have better quality. So for that kind of thing where people need to see what's going on, it's good to go back, and that's the process I'm doing right now, going back and re-recording things again with a better quality video, better quality sound, to be able to show more clearly what is going on. People's expectations have really risen. The things that they used to think were good enough, they no longer think is quite as good. All right, so when you're looking in here, you can see the overall trend of what the views are. You can see the trend in the watch hours, the revenue, and all that kind of stuff. So you can see here in terms of when people leave the video after they start watching it, that it always starts at 100%. You've got 100% of people watching. In the first 30 seconds, we've lost about a third of them, which is pretty typical. It actually tends to usually be much higher drop-off rate. But in this particular kind of case, if someone's looking for origami money flower and they see that title, which shows them exactly what kind of flower they're getting, they're already self-selecting that they're clicking on this video because they are pretty sure that this is what they want. And if they start to drop off, maybe it's because the video quality isn't quite what they need, or maybe the vocal quality isn't quite what they need. And there's enough competition out there nowadays that pretty much no video is the only video of its kind out there. People always have other options to go with. So you're always going to have some sort of a drop off. 66 is actually a pretty good rate for maintaining people. And then you'll see that I'm able to maintain people rather well after that, compared with some of the other videos we'll take a look at from some of my other sites. For these YouTube origami videos, I tend to hold people pretty strongly once they get started, because then they want to see what all the steps are, and they're often folding along, so they'll watch it once through to get a sense of how to do it, and then they'll watch it through again to figure out. And sometimes where you see these drop-offs are where a certain section is easy, so then they skip over that part on the a second or a third watch through or whatever, to then skip to the part that they're having more problems with. So you'll find that a lot for how-to videos, if you're showing people how to do a dance move or how to do a sewing step or whatever else that you're working on. Let's take a look at one of the other videos in here. Let's look at this one. All right, so this is a money origami butterfly. And again, if someone looks at that title image, they know exactly what kind of butterfly they're getting. So they're clicking on this because they know what they're interested in doing. You need to make sure that title image is nice and clear. Otherwise, you'll get a huge drop-off if someone thinks that they're about to get something and then they start watching the video and it's something that completely not what they wanted. Then they're going to just leave right away. So you need to make sure the title text and the title image are super clear about what the person is going to get, and that will help you retain people during this first section. So again, we've got like 58% or so on, and then it's always going to drop down as people, especially when they're doing the second and third and fourth walkthrough. It could be just one particular section they need to get through to figure out how to do that particular piece. And down here, we're down into the 20%. By this point, they've pretty much finished it and that they're done, so they don't need to see the remaining things about me placing the butterfly down on the table or so on. So I wouldn't worry too much about this end period, because by that point, people are just leaving during your farewell speech or whatever. But you want to try to make sure that you don't lose many people in this front area. You're always going to lose some people, but you shouldn't be losing 99% of them, for example, in this front area. And part of what I talked about in my Lisa Shea Lisa Shea work from home video, is that shorter videos, they have less chance of leaving. So if this was an 8-second video, then pretty much everyone would be 100%. And we have one of those on the work from home video side. If it's a longer video, then there's far more chance that people are going to drop off just because they're getting called away for dinner, or something else happens, or the phone drops or whatever. And you'll see that from my long form videos on the work from home site, where I'm doing hour-long interviews with book authors. We'll tend to have a drop-off at the beginning when people are just discovering if they like the author or not, and then it will stay pretty steady down until it gets to the end, because at that point someone's hunkered in for the hour and they're going to watch it and see what this person has to say to them. Let's see, put that on Lifetime. All right, so this is the lifetime view, and again, this is back when I used to do lots of promotions on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. So when I do a promotion, I'd get a spike, then things would settle back down again, and it settled back down into quiet, partially because I'm just not working on this channel much anymore, and partially also because, again, this is an old 2009 version of this video. I've made a newer version of it that I'm starting up, and the quality of the older one is just not as good as the newer one. So that sort of stuff makes sense. All right, so let's take a look at a rainbow mobile video. So this is not a how-to video. This is just a, and let's again do it since the lifetime. This is just a watch mobile spin around in a circle and see how they go. So we had a portion of people, maybe they just watch for 30 seconds or half a minute or whatever and just relax for a minute before they go get their cup of coffee or something. For these kinds of videos, there are lots of people who only want to watch it for half a minute or a minute, and this isn't a sign of unhappiness. It's a sign that they got what they needed out of it, and then they go on to something else. For a lot of people, meditating for 10 minutes is just way too long, and they just want a 30-second break to get through something and then go on to other things. But you can see that there's a portion of people that watch it through the whole way, and they probably just have it running in the background while they meditate or while they're reading a book or something else like that. So part of understanding these percentages is thinking about the type of video it is, and hopefully that's where my different examinations of these videos will help you to be able to see that different types of videos naturally have different wavelengths and forms because of the way people watch them. So let's go back and look at this one on what's in a traditional calligraphy set. So this one again has spikes at different points when I did little promotions for it, and it stays pretty steady. There's people who want to know what's in a calligraphy kit, so they come here and they watch it pretty much until the end when I just give my little thank you for watching kind of speech. But the drop off here isn't as steep as, let's say, in that meditation video that we had, where the drop-off was fairly steep because some people watched for 30 seconds and then had gotten their use out of the video. In this one, someone who looks at that title and the screen, the image that goes with the title, this is what they want to know. The whole reason they're clicking on this is because they want to get the details about what's in that kit. So maybe a few people drop out because maybe this wasn't the kind of kit that they thought it was, or maybe they thought it was going to be in Japanese and not in English, or all sorts of different reasons. But a fair portion of people, far higher than in some of the other types of videos, stay on and want to hear the details about what the inkstone is and what the brush rest and so on, because that's the whole purpose that they clicked on this, to come in here and see what these details are. So again, it's important to have the clear title, the clear image that all demonstrate to the user what they're going to get. That will help with this first part. And if it's something where it's a step-by-step, then you should have a pretty strong retention through here once you get over the initial drop-off of the people who realize that this isn't what they're going to get. Let's go back to the previous page. All right, so there's more of the other videos. See, now some of these have too low of a view to be able to get a really good sense. I mean, if you've only got 78 views on something, that's a small amount of people in terms of statistics. So if I click on the analytics of this, and I see that a lot of people dropped off after this point, I could certainly take a look at what I was doing at this point and see if I went into another section of the book that people were just not that interested in. But it could be that I happen to get a lot of school kids who are all recommended to take a look at this video, and the school kids were interested in the things I was covering here, but not in here. And it could be if I get another 1,000 views from adults, that their traffic may be very different. So it's important, especially if you only have a few views added up, 100 or 200 or so on, that you take the statistics with a grain of salt. And not think necessarily that this is going to be how everyone is going to take a look at your video. But it's good just to take a look in general and see if there is something that you want to fix about future videos or change the way that you approach things. But again, there's always going to be a drop-off at the beginning. We drop off at about 65%. And by this point, the people who are into the video know that we're talking about this book, they're interested in that book, and they want to see what our views are on it. And then we get down to this point, and maybe I've covered the main topics, and now the rest of it, where I'm going, I'm probably reading different examples in here. Maybe they aren't that interested in reading the examples, because at that point they have already decided that they're either going to buy it or that it's not the book that they're interested in. All right, and then cat videos. I'm trying to see how long they are. Yeah, just 30 seconds. Trying to see if I have anything shorter in here. I think that everything in here is relatively long. Long in the sense of, like 5 to 10 minutes. My videos here don't tend to be extremely long. But here, this is probably the shortest one. So we'll take a look at this one. All right, so this one is only, 18 seconds long? And you get a pretty high retention because people just don't tend to cancel out in only 18 seconds. So you could easily skew your percentages by putting up lots of really short videos that people don't have enough time to escape from. But that doesn't, unless these are all super, super popular videos, that doesn't necessarily help you. It depends on what type of videos you're planning on putting onto your YouTube channel. But I would not necessarily skew all short just for that kind of reason. It's also fair to say, though, that YouTube is putting up shorts in specific, and Instagram's doing it, and Facebook's doing it, and TikTok, of course, thrives in it. So there's lots and lots of people who are skewing solely towards the short video for this very reason, that short videos tend to hold someone until the end, and you are able to get your message across to them. But it's going to be a pretty short message. It's going to be a cat playing with a toy or something else really short, because there just isn't that much that you can say in 20 seconds. All right, so let's look at the actual analytics tab in here. Let's again look at it for the entire lifetime. All right, so I've got nearly 5 million views on this channel since I began it. And again, there was a while that I was really active. So, got like, I don't even know if I can point to that. So got 5,500 views on that day. And then there's spikes when I did some promos, but then I haven't really paid that much attention to it recently, so it has scrolled down. And my top videos are, 1 million views, 500,000 views, 400,000 views, 300,000 views, and so on. And I am slowly going through and posting fresh versions of these videos so that I can get a better version that has better quality camera work and vocal work. Because part of why these have fallen off over time is that the video for the original versions was good at the time, but it is pretty impressively poor when you go back and take a look at it now. And these don't even do justice. I mean, there's shadows, there's all sorts of problems. So it's well worth it to go back and add fresh videos. Never delete the old videos, but always keep the old videos and then in them add links to the new version and make a fresh version that has better camera work to it. So those are the top 10 that go down to about 106,000 views. And then when you click on See More, you get to the full analytics screen. All right, and again, so this is on lifetime. We've got ones, and let's see if we can get some more things in here. Got the watch times and hours. Do I have average view duration? I think I might already have that in there. Let's put in unique viewers just out of curiosity. Oh, did I ask for too much? I'm sorry, little system. Alright, I'm going to take that off because that one clearly caused problems for its little graphing. And I suppose actually even that one. YouTube didn't keep track of all stats during the old days. So depending on when you started your channel, if you start asking for certain kinds of stats, you're going to lose some of the data. So anyway, you can see that there were spikes in there when I did promotions. It had a certain baseline when it was just running as a standard, and after I stopped really updating it much, it quieted down again. That's just the way that it's going to work. You can't expect videos to self-maintain in general because there's going to be enough competitors out there loading up videos non-stop all day, every day that your video is going to fall away in comparison. But again, you can see that it's the older versions that have the most views because they've been around for the longest period of time. Average view duration is in general, this whole average percentage view is just not helpful at all. So you can see that here compared with those stats that we were looking at earlier. You can look at something and say 41%, and does that mean that people only saw the first half of it? Not at all. It really has no meaning. It means, I mean, you could maybe use it to compare with other things that are in here, but it's always best to look at a video and see what that video's values are, and to get a sense of how that video is doing in terms of when people start to fall off. Because there's always naturally a fall off at the beginning, and there's always naturally a fall off at the end, and the question is when those things happen and what the percentages are that do leave for that reason. Trying to see what one of my higher holding on videos is here, and it probably is that cat one. Let's see if we go down. Oh, okay, it won't even show me past the first top 50 results. I should have remembered that. So the cat one's probably down off the bottom, but I bet it's got a far higher percentage viewed because it's so short. People just don't have time to leave before it ends. So a lot of the ones that have drop off could be that it just was too long and that people stopped before the end. You know, there's all sorts of reasons. All right, so hopefully that gives you a sense with a channel that's gotten you know, still not as high as many of the channels that are out there today doing game streaming or that sort of thing, but still, you know, 5 million views is a healthy number of views, and a million views on the folding flower. And it wasn't anything complicated. I just put a camera up, I sat there folding a money origami flower, and then I promoted it to help make sure that people could find it. So people in general, if you do a clear, well-described how-to video that is of interest to people, as long as you can help people find it, then people in general will watch it and appreciate it and learn from the skills that you were giving them. And many of my other channels are about other kinds of topics other than how-to. So if you're interested in getting some tips for non-how-to kinds of videos, those are in my other YouTube videos that I'm working on. Right, so the general tips for how-to videos: clear video, clear audio, clear, well-paced description, clear title image so they know exactly what they're going to be getting, and a good keyword-rich title, description, and hashtags. And all of those things will help you get found. And then do promotions on Twitter, Facebook, all of that kind of stuff that I talk about in my other videos. So let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to help. If there's something in particular you wanted information on, I am happy to make specific videos that go into just details of this process in detail. Thank you and have a great week.